Think heavenly hierarchy? Let's meet the Archangels and the Seraphim in 60 seconds. Archangels are the go-to commanders in celestial lore. Michael, the stoic celestial warrior who battles darkness. Gabriel, the cool messenger who drops world-changing announcements. Raphael, the compassionate healer, guide of physical and spiritual recovery. Uriel, the luminous bringer of divine light and insight. They appear across scripture and story, serving three roles: guide, steering people and angels toward purpose and safety; protect, guarding against spiritual and physical harm constantly; deliver, bringing fate-altering news and revelations to humanity. Seraphim are a different vibe, six-winged celestial beings. They hover around the divine throne, radiating heat and holiness. In Isaiah's vision they cry, "Holy, holy, holy." Their whole job is perpetual worship and purification. Legend: a seraph touched Isaiah's lips with a coal to cleanse him. Think of it as a celestial sterilizer. So what's the real difference? Archangels act as leaders, messengers, delivering divine communication; protectors, defending souls and communities. Seraphim represent a state of being in heaven. They embody pure, burning love at the throne, non-stop praise, perpetual songs before the divine. Archangels run the mission, taking action. Seraphim fuel the worship with burning love. Want another minute of cosmic lore? Hit subscribe and I'll bring the next heavenly cast.
Are found in flames. This right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe. Hello, grand day. Welcome, everybody. I got bedhead going on. Wow. Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of this wonderful series, Grand Rising with ChristoLight. And as we continue on our series and journey, we have been exploring some of the factions, some of the councils, or some of the confederations, if you want to say, that have been formed throughout our harmonic universe. And we've been diving into the Galactic Federation on Tuesday. And then let's take a rewind and travel back to yesterday on Wednesday and where we left off with our factions and organizations of this universal time matrix, or Negative Aliens Archon group. You ever heard of David Icke? David Icke talks about the Archons. So the NAA is to force the planet to serve another multiple species controller agenda through imposing false replicated time fields using biowarfare technology, such as holographic inserts, AI, and mind control.
namely created under genetically reptilian-based archons. So the archon is defined as a false king of tyranny ruler that controls through masks of deception, promoted through wearing technology abuse, such as mind control, frequency implants, and military strategies. It can be applied to human or non-human alien sources. It is both the military human and non-human shared greed for domination, of which they both employ hidden advanced frequency technologies. The Big Five strategies to generate more negative ego behaviors and spread their anti-human value systems in the human public are: number 1, divide and conquer; number 2, victim and victimizer; number 3, sexual abuse and sexual misery; number 4, child abuse and child sacrifice; number 5, misogyny. Oh, they actually give us a antidote. Antidote to AD behaviors is living in the law of one and practicing the GSF. Number 1, empathy and compassion. Number 2, mental openness. Number 3, emotional stability. Number 4, responsibility. Number 5, honesty. Number 6, sovereignty. Number 7, reality assessment. Number 8, unified cooperation. Think about the way that they have infiltrated the music industry, and through hip hop and rap especially, the way that they utilize women. The way they utilize women through modern hip hop and mainstream rap is an exact embodiment of this Elvira Archon, Mother of Darkness archetypes. So make threats to hurt her, make her drop charges, make her do illegal things, threaten to leave her, to commit suicide.
The ultimate happiness for mankind. Their whole purpose throughout history has been to teach a small number of people how to become adept at controlling everyone else and presenting their societies as desirable.
If humans remain ignorant of their divine origins beyond the universe, the system remains constant, and all is kosher for the Archon.
So that's our reflection from our last episode yesterday about the NAA, which is the negative polarity or the negative alien agenda. And this also was exploring the archons. And I'm sure a lot of us have heard of archons in different ways throughout time, whether it's through pioneers like David Icke going in depth and talking about experiences with the archons and reptilians, other galactic historians and other fellows that like to share the knowledge of the galactic universe. They mention the archons. They mention the archons in ancient religion as well as in Gnosticism. And it was super clarifying last episode. So if you want to watch that replay, you can go onto the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Broadcast Network, go to playlist, hit Grand Rising with ChristoLight, and you can actually watch this whole series since the beginning. And in this series, we have deep dived into many different focuses. One being about the threefold flame, the universal time matrix, the different dimensions that we have with the rays of light, as well as the kind of guides and masters that you can connect with each ray of light. And then we've been exploring the different starseed lineages and the different star nations. And now we're going over factions and organizations in our universe. Hydration check for everybody. Drink that clean water. Clean water. So I'm going to go ahead and burn a little bit of Palo Santo for us. And I'm going to play a little bit of sound healing as well. And we're just going to move into this space today. Got a little bit of sinuses as well, so don't mind me if I'm sniffling. For those of you that are not familiar with Palo Santo is this beautiful, beautiful wood that we call holy wood. And it's called holy wood in Central and South America in its originality. And Palo Santo is a beautiful, beautiful protective and clearing energy. So just like white sage, it clears out the energy field of negativity and dense vibrations. And then it also has a uplifting aroma as well. And it brings freshness and revitalization to your energy field, or the energy field that you are working it with. Just go ahead and take a couple breaths if you wish. Maybe get yourself centered, get in some good posture. Relax your shoulders, your mouth, your jaw. Move your body a little bit if you need to, twist. Let's take this moment, this rising, for a little bit of self-care and self-movement. Got the 432 Hertz bowl. The YouTube link, Sacred Light Broadcast Network. Yes, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I'll go ahead and put it on the screen for you guys. It is the Sacred Light Broadcast Network. And that's where you guys can watch any of my replays or any of the other content that's available. I have multiple series, tons of podcasts. I even have guided meditations that I made with multiple layers of sound healing. Go ahead and take some final deep breaths if you would like. All right. How are we feeling after that? All right, now that we're ready to dive in, let's go ahead and take 44 seconds to get ourselves ready as we get ready to learn about the Archangels, the different types of angels, the Seraphim, and our galactic history. All right. Here we go. Let me grab tissue and blow my nose. All right. Gotta cleanse those sinuses out, especially when they're coming out. You don't want to pull them back in. 919. 919. What does that mean to you? Is there an angel number to that? Uh-oh. My queen is a big drum over here. I think she's saying she wants to drum for you guys. All right, let's start diving into the Seraphim talk. Talking about the angels and the angelic humans in our galaxy or universe. So the Seraphim. The Seraphim have to do with the Christos founder races. So the Seraphim lineage is one of the original founder primal sound fields of the Gold Order Ray, which encompasses the Seraph lineage, of which would be called the Winged Ones, in terms of avian genetic bird beings, or the angelic seraphim. They are extension of the family entity of Ra, 14 dimension, from the next universe through Andromeda Galaxy, 7 higher heavens, which live within the practices of the Law of One. So yes, as I've discussed earlier on in this series, we discovered what Ra, as in R-A, Ra, what Ra really represents in the bigger picture of this whole universe that we're in. And what we found out was that Ra is a sound. It is a primal sound field before coming into light and form. So we learned that in the 15-dimensional time matrix, the first 3 dimensions, before we enter into the 12-pointed grid, those first 3, the 15 and 13 dimensions, are the 3 founding sound waves of creation. Those 3 founding sound waves permeate throughout all of existence eternally. And that's why they say, you know, there was the word in the beginning, or that in metaphysics and things of that nature, everything starts with sound from sound into light, then into form. And that's what we learn throughout the creation process in this universe. It goes sound, light, and then sound and light together, turning into form or avatars. So let's continue. And to kind of complete the Ra talk, with Ra being a 14th dimensional sound tone frequency rather than an individual being or a sun, the individual beings, the sun, these different representations of Ra that we see throughout history, such as different guides and all these different beings that have the sun on top of their head, that is just them being a manifested form of the Ra 14-dimensional sound field being represented through different dimensional forms and different archetypes. So for example, Sekhmet or Horus, they are different archetypal energies that carry the sound tone of the 14-dimensional Ra energy, but in its own translation and own different way to connect with those that resonate with it. And what is the law of one? The law of one is just the perfect balance and order to creation and the energies and beings that uphold that. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at the law of one on here. AscensionGlossary.com too, for everyone that doesn't know the reference. The law of one is the comprehension that all things are made of intelligent energy and are a part of the all one. The law of one contains the sacred sciences, which explains the mechanics of Christ consciousness that comprise the natural laws that are governing the universal creation. All one is the recognition that the eternal truth is eternal love, and that the state of eternal love is the organic consciousness or infinite creator or God source. Eternal love consciousness embodied within a form is referred to as unity intelligence and is simultaneously recognized as the inner light of Christos. Unity consciousness is at one with God, and this unity consciousness is that which ignites the inner light of Christos, held as an eternal flame within the sacred crystal heart. The inner light of Christos, when actualized into a manifested form, is the embodiment of an eternal God human that holds the title of a cosmic citizen, and therefore is God sovereign free. It's funny because I was actually reflecting on how I feel like I've truly embodied and achieved a state of being a cosmic citizen on this earth at this point. And what I mean by that is I live a life where the world isn't dictating my everyday life. It's not dictating the way I think, the way I go about my day, the way I use my energy, my passion, the things I think about with spirit and healing and community. It's all coming from within me, and it's coming from pure spirit, source, and love, unconditionally. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm not in debt. I don't own things that are going to keep me bound to this planet and world. I don't have toxic relationships that I'm holding on to. I don't have, restraints on my jobs, any of that stuff. So for me, I am very aware of what it means to be a cosmic citizen and also to uphold your own God sovereignty on this planet. And, we don't have to work with debt systems. We don't have to depend on the medical system. We don't have to receive what feels like handouts from the government, which are actually more debts and more ways of control. Instead, we can build from within ourselves in the moment, use our energy, manifest, and co-create without needing any of that. And to me, that's being a cosmic citizen. Realizing that, number one, you're more than the earth when it comes to your soul. that you have a journey beyond this planet. You may have had a journey before it and will have a journey after it. And with that, you're a cosmic citizen. The more you learn about the law of one, the more you learn about the universal laws, and you allow those to be what dictates you in your decision making. And there you go. So when we express practicing loving kindness, we build unity consciousness that is directly reflected as the true nature and holy image of God's love. This inner Holy Spirit of the sacred heart flame is eternally protected with angelic humans. Be at one with all, as one is all with God. Every soul is taking the same spiritual journey, but each soul has evolved at different levels within the manifested timelines. The teachings of the law of one describe the spiritual laws that govern angelic humanity's spiritual evolution for each dimension that exists within the universal time matrix. It is a single philosophical system of world humanism which merges cosmology, science, human rights, and spiritualism. Simply put, the law of one is the universal truth, that all is one. It is the truth taught by Christ when he proclaimed, "Love thy neighbor as you love thyself." We are all direct expressions of the one source, God's source. The law of one is an energetic reality as well as a creational covenant within the guardian host founder races, the emerald, amethyst, and gold order, cosmic family entity of Ra, the aurora host races from the 7 higher heavens, serve the crystal star in order to protect spiritual sovereignty for all races through the reclamation of the Christos mission. The law of one is practiced by the advanced races that promote self-responsibility and accountability in our universal time matrix through the compensation of energetic interconnection that exists between all living things. The law of one expresses and acknowledges the interconnection, the value, the interdependence of the spirit and consciousness that animates within all things. Living a lifestyle that expresses unconditional love to all creation brings true unity with the Godhead and develops a direct relationship with God. Thus, this is the promise of the Emerald Covenant, gifted to humanity in order to achieve planetary liberation, and is the ascension path of the cosmic founders in order to achieve complete spiritual freedom from reincarnation cycles in the lower worlds during the ascension cycle. Wow, how beautiful. Thank you, Ascension Glossary, for the explaining of the law of one. Ooh, good stuff. There's something in here that I wanted to click on. Let's see. Let me see if you guys have any comments as well. Okay, no comments. What is it that I was going to click on here? Bum, bum, bum. Ah, yes. God. So I wanted to click on God. You know, God is a very popular term. I'm just going to put it at that. And it's used in many different ways. It's used out of control. It's used out of acknowledgement of the universal oneness. It's used for manipulation. It's used in many different ways. So let's see what Ascension Glossary has to say about how they define the word God. So God, from the cosmic Christos guardian perspective, the use of the word or term God is hereby defined to not be misconstrued as a personage or entity in their representation of the Godhead, in the same context that is commonly used within organized religions. The spread of the negative agenda derived violent religions that highlight blood sacrifice of the personal Christ on the earth is a consciousness enslavement tool in order to give up personal sovereignty by worshiping external entities. Therefore, confusing humanity to misinterpret the source of God, but then as being an external person, entity, or alien from another world. The eternal, infinite, and divine source of God can only be found deeply within the self. The inner spiritual source that is referred to as the inner Christos resides within the sacred crystal heart, and one becomes a knower when dedicated to the pursuit of truth, while desiring an intimate connection with God. In comprehending the proper context for the use of the word God and to begin to explore its deeper meaning is to dedicate oneself to the pursuit of truth in all matters in life, to develop purity of heart, purity of mind, through dedicated self-inquiry to pursue truth beyond all fear. Thus, truth seekers are sacred in the universal law and are supremely protected by the defenders of truth, the Christos guardians, defenders of the truth spirit. Sounds like a anime or a movie. Sounds like a good idea to make. Like what a catch. The seekers are sacred in the universal law and are supremely protected by the defenders of truth, the Christos, guardian defenders of the truth spirits. Sounds like a good movie to me. Chalk it up to Marvel. So thus, the use of the word God in proper context denotes all that is, all one, divine eternal source, infinite creator, center point of all union. Ooh, I like that one. Center point of all union. Eternal living light of God, eternal spiritual being, eternal source of intelligent creation, beloved holy presence, Holy Mother, Father, and Holy Christo Sophia. Beautiful. And then lastly on this page, connecting directly with God and Christ. When we connect directly with God, the most important thing for us to understand, especially on this path of anchoring foundational stabilization and heart-based coherence, is to recognize ourselves as part and parcel of God consciousness without any intermediary identity, which means that you can directly connect with God or Christ. Know that Christ is the physician of God. Christ is not only the figure of Jesus the Christ, embodying perfect peace, Christ the cosmic Christos as a God sovereign free cosmic citizen, and this potential is the ultimate destiny and ascension path for all of us. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get back to the Seraphim. My queen made me some reishi coffee, mocha flavor, and I haven't had some in about a week, so it's been pretty nice. Okay. So how is this for everybody so far? Let me know. I can't wait to show you guys the videos too. Videos are gonna be fun. Okay. So the Seraphim had their own schism and enslavement issues, having been intricately involved with the creation of the planet Earth and involved with its many timelines and histories of the evolution of the human race. As the Seraphim races committed to help humanity evolve from the lower creational realm of 3D Earth, they experience their consciousness descending rapidly, to which is a result of the fallen angelic fragmented mind matrix. I don't know why, but something about that is just making me laugh, because it's making me think about how holy smokes. It's making me think about environment and who you put yourself around, and how we know as humans and energy that we even have sayings, you know, like you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or whatever. It's something like that. And it just reminds me of that, because it's like, it says, as the Seraphim races committed to help humanity evolve from the lower creational realms of 3D Earth, they experience their consciousness descending rapidly. And I don't know why, it just makes me laugh. It's like, you think about that, it's like you stick yourself in that furnace and you try to help so many people that are struggling and in their addictions and all these things. And the more that you keep yourself around them and they're not making the progress, they're not ascending, it's like you start to slip in your frequency, and then you begin to kind of fall, quote unquote. And what falling means is that you just fall into a ignorant, dark, or unaware place within yourself of the spiritual connection, which creates illness and disease. So the Seraphim were a part of the original creators of the divine human species prototype that were genetically designed with the potential to evolve into a embodied Christos consciousness. Their energy signature and imprint is certainly a part of all of us as human beings and part of the planet Earth collective consciousness. One of the things that the Seraphs did many moons ago in the human evolution experiment is actually create a ley line and a axational lines grid system on the Earth. The Seraphim became the guardians of the Earth to protect the horizontal shields in their timelines until the humans could evolve to such levels to become the guardians of the Earth. That's so cool. So they basically help us develop to where we can become the guardians of this own Earth. Wow. That's pretty cool to think about. So at some point, we're going to truly step in to being the guardians of this planet. Now, a lot of us are already these guardians, so to say, but it's going to really lock in and anchor, and we're going to get acknowledged as the guardians of the Earth. So continuing, this was done in a grid or lane line consciousness and ray structure that is referred to as the Golden Eagle Pylon Network, or the Golden Eagle Grid. This was actually a creation of the collective guardian founder races, of which the guardian Seraphim and the avian races became through this grid known as the Golden Eagle Grid. The guardians of the horizontals. The horizontal ley lines are the networks that create the clock, shield template instructions that directly control the consciousness movement through time and space as a linear experience, and therefore related to the morphogenic field that creates horizontal timelines in many dimensions. Wow. Ooh, that's interesting to tap into. So basically, the Seraphim are guardians of the different dimensions and timelines. How fascinating is that? That sounds like a fun meditation. So those of us that like to do grid work and work with the ley lines of the Earth, sounds like meditating and connecting with the Seraphim might be something beneficial for you. So the fallen angelic history. During the Atlantean fall, or the Atlantean Colaticism, what is known as the Luciferian Rebellion about 26,000 to 30,000 years ago, this when the planetary stargates, the planetary grid ley lines became controlled by the negative agenda, controlling races such as the reptilians, the Anunnaki, the Alpha Draconians, the Orion Group Draconians. So, it's interesting. We may think that, the control over the Earth didn't start until, maybe a couple hundred years ago, or in the United States in 1913. But really, this was happening thousands of years before this modern time of control. And now we're in the remnants of thousands of years of a control system, and now coming out of it and uncovering it and bringing a light upon it, and also doing the shadow work from it, which is so heavy, which is why so many of us have been feeling so many timelines, so much ancestral energy, and so much more in the last few years. We're closing out that time, those timelines, and we're stepping into more organic and pure timelines. I'll go blow my nose one more time. It's actually be a good time to allow you guys to go ahead and watch a video, and then we'll continue on with our education. So let's talk about the Seraphim a little bit from a different perspective.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mythology Explained. In today's video, we're going to discuss Seraphim, the angels closest to God's throne and the highest order of angels in the celestial hierarchy. Because of this, Seraphim can be viewed as the most powerful order of angels. The most powerful demons is sometimes said to have been Seraphim before they fell from grace and became malevolent entities. However, it is important to note that certain named archangels, especially Michael, are often considered the most powerful angels. Michael, for example, is seen as a warrior and protector, and in the Bible, he is depicted as leading the heavenly host in the battle against Satan and the forces of evil. One reason that explains this is that the word archangel has multiple meanings. In angelology, it usually refers to the second lowest angelic order. However, in the Bible, the word archangel has a more general meaning that simply denotes superior angelic beings. The word seraphim is derived from the Hebrew word seraph, which means to burn, and reflects their intense, fiery nature, usually associated with their burning love for God. They are mentioned explicitly in the Bible only in the book of Isaiah, where they appear in a vision experienced by the prophet Isaiah. In this vision, the seraphim are described as having 6 wings, 2 covering their faces, 2 covering their feet, and 2 for flying. The seraphim are considered the highest order of angels in the Christian angelic hierarchy, this based on the classification system developed by Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite in his work The Celestial Hierarchy. Thomas Aquinas, in his Summa Theologica, further developed the understanding of seraphim, emphasizing their unmatched love for God and their superior knowledge of divine truths. As part of the first triad in the angelic hierarchy, along with cherubim and thrones, seraphim serve as intermediaries between God and the lower orders of angels, transmitting divine illumination throughout the cosmos. Alright, let's get into it. Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite, an influential Christian theologian and philosopher of the late 5th and early 6th century, provides a detailed account of the seraphim in his work The Celestial Hierarchy, drawing upon the biblical account in Isaiah and upon Neoplatonic philosophy. Pseudo-Dionysius classifies the seraphim as the highest order of the 9 angelic orders, surpassing even the cherubim and thrones in their closeness to God. According to Pseudo-Dionysius, the seraphim are characterized by their fervent love for and unparalleled knowledge of God. Their primary function is to participate in and transmit divine light and knowledge to the lower orders of angels and ultimately to humans. Seraphim, along with cherubim and thrones, form the first triad, or the supra-celestia realm. Their role in the celestial hierarchy is crucial, as they serve as intermediaries between God and the lower orders of angels. Pseudo-Dionysius' conception of seraphim had a significant impact on Christian theology. His classification of the angelic hierarchy was widely adopted and further developed by later theologians such as Thomas Aquinas and John of Damascus. Furthermore, his depiction of the seraphim as the highest order of angels, characterized by their ardent love for God, inspired numerous mystical writings and reflections on the nature of divine love. Thomas Aquinas, the esteemed 13th century theologian and philosopher, explored the subject of seraphim in his work Summa Theologica. Building upon Pseudo-Dionysius' concept of the angelic hierarchy, Aquinas delved deeper into the nature and function of these celestial beings. In the hierarchy of angels, Aquinas recognized Pseudo-Dionysius' classification and assigned seraphim the highest position. He maintained that the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones form the first triad of angelic orders, with the seraphim being closest to God in both knowledge and love. Aquinas believed that the seraphim are largely distinguished by their singular love for and profound knowledge of God. Their defining characteristic, ardent love for the divine, illuminates their intellect, enabling them to grasp the deepest understanding of divine truths. Furthermore, Aquinas emphasized the seraphim's ability to perceive God intellectually and spiritually, which surpasses the clarity and depth of any other angelic order. Aquinas also argued that the seraphim play a crucial role in enlightening the lower angelic orders, this predicated on their unfathomable knowledge and immeasurable love. They transmit the divine light and wisdom they obtain from God to the cherubim and other angelic ranks, which then cascade through the celestial hierarchy and down to humanity. In addition to their role in disseminating divine knowledge, Aquinas posited that the seraphim actively participate in the celestial ministry, aiding in the governance of the universe according to God's will. Aquinas also ascribed a superlative degree of purity to the seraphim, as they are perpetually immersed in the contemplation of God, free from any desire for material or earthly things. In the book of Isaiah, the seraphim are introduced in a dramatic and vivid vision experienced by the prophet Isaiah. This vision, described in Isaiah 6, verses 1-7, portrays the seraphim as celestial beings surrounding God's throne, praising and worshiping God in an awe-inspiring display of devotion. In the vision, Isaiah sees the Lord seated on a high and exalted throne, with the train of his robe filling the temple. The seraphim, each of whom has 6 wings, stand around the throne. They use 2 wings to cover their faces, symbolizing their humility and reverence in the presence of divine glory. They use 2 wings to cover their feet, an act that connotes their recognition of their unworthiness and creaturely status before the Creator. The final pair of wings is used for flying, indicating their readiness to serve God and execute His commands. The seraphim continuously praise and worship God, calling out to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory." This threefold repetition of holy emphasizes the utter holiness and transcendence of God, setting Him apart from all of creation. The seraphim's proclamation also acknowledges God's pervasive presence as His glory fills the entire earth. As the seraphim praise God, their voices are so powerful that they cause the doorposts and thresholds of the temple to shake, filling the temple with smoke. This manifestation of the divine presence and power evokes fear and awe in Isaiah, who becomes acutely aware of his own sinfulness and the sinfulness of his people. He exclaims, "Woe to me, I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty." In response to Isaiah's distress, one of the seraphim takes a live coal from the altar with a pair of tongs and touches it to Isaiah's lips. The seraphim then declares that Isaiah's guilt is removed and his sin is atoned for. This act of purification prepares Isaiah for his prophetic mission, as he goes on to accept God's call to be His messenger to the people of Judah and Jerusalem. And that's it for this video. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
All right, that was our first video for today. We're going to have more as we continue. I think that was just a great time to kind of break it up and let you guys hear a different perspective and a visual video aid as well. Oh, good news, man. Just texted back someone that told me about a Lionsgate festival that they're going to be hosting on 8/8 next year. And it's really 8/8 Lionsgate is such a fascinating time of the year. By far the most connective and most consciously aware time for me personally. You know, just being a Lyran, knowing the Syrian connection with Egypt and the Giza pyramids and what it means. It is such a profound time, the Lionsgate. If you haven't looked into it before, just look up Lionsgate 8/8 and dive into those codes and the energy about that. But yeah, there's gonna be a festival going on during Lionsgate, and I've been offered to collaborate and be a large part of that. So I think I might be shifting my vision there. I was thinking about Sedona, but you know, it's really difficult when you're on the other side of the country to get retreat tickets sold and do all these different things. So I think Sedona might be another thing in the cards. Maybe not for Lionsgate, but something else. But yeah, you guys just follow me if you haven't yet. Facebook, ChristoLight Robbins, Instagram, SacredLight33. If you follow me on those platforms, you guys will stay up to date, and you'll be able to see the retreats, the events, the festivals, productions, and everything else that I have for you guys to be a part of and be available. And then I also got offered to do some retreats in LA as well. So things are on the up. Things are on the up. Grateful. Staying vigilant and staying dedicated. Working with the fallen angelic history here. All right. Let's get into more of this education. Lindsay, 8/8 Lionsgate, Sedona. I've been looking to go there. I like it. Post where to go to look for info again, please. Yeah, so Sedona was the idea, but I was just offered to be a part of a Lionsgate festival. And I think it'll be not in Sedona. So either way, though, I'll keep everybody updated. That's for sure. There'll be several announcements way ahead of time. And you guys will most likely want to get your tickets. We're going to be doing, you know, large staged sound baths, a lot of other activations and manifestation projects as well. And then, of course, the live music and the other things that will be coming with that are just going to be profound and beautiful during this Lionsgate portal. So let's continue in our education. The fallen angelic history. How do you guys like the music, by the way? So we left off at the Golden Eagle Grid. And they were talking about how basically this Golden Eagle Grid is being controlled currently by the negative agenda. And that's the Draconians, the Anunnaki, the Reptilians, the Greys. And the Golden Eagle Grid, which I'm surprised they're not even showing here. I'll actually click on it here in just a moment. But it says here that during the time under the control of these beings who use these collective consciousness grids for reverse purposes of malintent designed for the NAA and the false gods, which was the opposite from their original purpose. So in the last 26,000 years, the Golden Eagle Grid became controlled. It was primarily used as a mind control broadcast station, literally, that would send out false information or manipulated information to the mass human population. I mean, I tell you what, that's definitely true. You just look at the Middle East. The Middle East is full of propaganda. Like, is there anything or any moment of day in the last who knows how many years where there hasn't been propaganda about the Middle East? Like, holy smokes. Don't even get me started on what 9/11 did and what that did for the Golden Eagle Grid. It was a ploy for these negative agenda beings to be able to take over the Golden Eagle Grid even further. And this is why we see so many wars in the Middle East, so many resources being taken, and all this stuff going on with sacrifice through war and genocide in the Middle East. Can't make this stuff up, man. So one purpose in the Iran Gate is to send out false king of tyranny, patriarchal domination, mind control through the Archangel Michael Matrix Collective. It was sending out information that was about the program at the Anunnaki to continue. Oh, snap. I got my microphone down here on the ground.
Good thing it's a good mic. Let me know if you guys couldn't hear any of that. Just put it in the comments. You probably could hear it though. So it was sending out information that was about the program that the Anunnaki to continue to plummet humanity to false timelines, of which is of one darkness, enslavement and separation using software called the Armageddon software, the Metatronic reversal, and the victim victimizer. We actually read about that yesterday in the NAA episode, which you guys can go replay and watch. We talked about their strategies that they use, Armageddon software, holographic inserts, entity implants, astral tagging, as well as victim and victimizer mentalities and reversals of our natural organic energy. Armageddon softwares is when they give us false end of the world scenarios, or they give us false religious dogmatic fears about life and your future, and you're going to heaven or hell and this and that and doomsday destruction. 2012, we're all gonna die, we need to prepare. Oh my god, let's all go buy toilet paper. Yeah, that's Armageddon software. It's manipulation on humanity to make us do very dumb and ignorant things that make no sense. And it's none of our fault. But we got to become aware of what's going on and how this is happening to us, because it's gotten far outplayed. So the Golden Eagle Grid literally became like a mind control weapon, because that is what they have been using it for. They have been reclaimed back a few years ago in terms of the Guardian Founder races, who are working to rehabilitate the places of the fallen consciousness grids, the fallen angelic mind matrix, and override the patriarchal mind control through the Solomon Shield and the activation of the Mother Ark hubs. Ooh boy, we're getting spicy now. Let's click on Solomon Shield. What is Solomon Shield? Solomon? So, King Solomon, he has been heavily misinterpreted through scripture on who he is and what he is and what he represented. Because King Solomon, his diagrams, especially his body diagrams and his his tree of life and diagrams of the dimensions are so powerful and profound to study about the self. You guys should check them out. The Solomon's Temple of the Human Body or something like that. And you'll find images of it. Let me go ahead and look it up for you guys. King Solomon body map. Oh, sweet. Found it. So there's different versions of it, of course, but here is a version. So look at this. This goes all the way back to King Solomon, back in the biblical scripture days. That's wild to think about. So tell me why Solomon's got a full diagram of the chakras right here, but yet dogmatic religions want to demonize the chakras and demonize spirituality. But yet the one they call King Solomon had a diagram for us depicting our chakras and our connection points of our body being the temple for spirit. Something's going on here. Why isn't Solomon talked about more? Why was one of his books removed from the Bible? Questions to ask, And I'm not insinuating anything. I don't know nothing. I'm just a human being. But I know that we can explore and open our minds. Pretty awesome, though, when you look at it. So, going back, Solomon's shield. So, the Solomon shield is a collective buffer field. It is the 369. Damn, you fine. Take it to me one more time. Get low. Got my queen laughing over here. So it is a collective buffer field. It's the 369 rod repair and the horizontal network created for the Earth to ensure an alternative evolution timeline through the Ascension Plan B mission by the Guardian Founder race. Look at that. We not only have Plan B on Earth, we have Plan B in the Ascension process. It comes from somewhere, huh? So this helps as companion to anchor the consciousness corrider, an array of Guardian hosted timelines for identifying and locating lost souls or fragmented souls that have been damaged due to alien machinery or that have been harvested by the negative agenda on planet in the last cycle. So the shield network is designed to override the damage created in the second dimension, such as the issues with the Great Graal Stargates, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and Sarasota, Florida. Interesting. So Sarasota, Florida is connected to the San Graal Stargate, which is connected to the second dimension. Interesting. I believe I'm going to be going to Florida pretty soon, so that could be interesting. The second chakra, orange wave spectrum. Oh, it's talking about the sacral chakra. Upgrading the rod function to elevate to the 14th golden ray chakra and to support the golden eagle grid functions for the masculine energy principle in both planetary and personal consciousness. Additionally, it serves to repair 1 to 4 dimensions the false ascension matrix, to complete a interdimensional resonator tone, which can link between the astral plane into the mother arc into the earth core, terminating the false white light matrix, which included the false umbilicus and the false white webbing. Patriarchal lines descending from the ancient Mahi bloodlines of the human, known as the guardian Yeshua or Christos, are called the House of David. The House of David rises again, guided by the crystal star, to rehabilitate and unite all of the King David, King Solomon bloodlines through the Solomon shield in order to bring divine grace and holiness into the males, transforming them from the false king of tyranny to benevolent kings. Ooh, that's so key right there. That is so key. We right there just uncovered a little bit of our timeline history of why there are so many unconscious males in this world. And what I mean by that is, the males that are demeaning women, that are enslaving women, that are controlling women, abusing women, the males that are trying to overpower everybody, that are trying to dominate, trying to have patriarchal control, all these different things. We're reading about some of the reasons why this is unconsciously happening in our collective. And, them basically trying to remove the teachings of King David and King Solomon. Those are huge parts in our collective male archetype on this planet from being in balanced order with self. So it's almost like, they took Yeshua, they took his disciples and anyone that was around him and working in his type of energy, and they just manipulated everything about them. So as the true king returns to his benevolent power on earth, he applies the 14-dimensional golden rod made from the golden shields of Solomon to anchor the embodiment of the heavenly Father arc, Diamond Heart, through him. The anchor protects the earth as the compassionate action of the holy heavenly Father arc, and seats those areas weakened from the misuse of power. From the false king of tyranny, the NAA promotes continual militarization of the planet in war, killing, and destruction. Planetary grid work where the protection of benevolent kings is desired, areas where the domination and abuse of male power is blatant. Call for the Solomon shield. So right now we just received a tool through the spirit of Solomon on how we can energetically and mentally utilize Solomon's shield to basically diffuse and to clear out the abuse of masculine or male power on this planet. So that's something you can work with, is Solomon's shield. When working with the Golden Eagle grid, militarization, or personal male issues, one may desire to call upon Solomon's shield as a companion to help heal inner and outer male energies into energetic balance. The embodied rod in the male principle had upgraded the 2D orange frequency to 14D golden frequency during the ascension cycle. And I also want to note too that it does just say like male, but keep in mind as well that this could also connect to masculine energy and masculine principles that as a female you also carry within yourself. So we all have a mother arc and we all have a father arc within us, and we are the balance of both the mother and father within. So there could be damage in your masculine as a female, and there can be damage in your feminine as a male. So keep in mind of that. There's just so much good stuff. This is gonna be a long episode, guys. Buckle in. So the Guardian project for rod repair. The Guardian Timeline's grid repair and hosting projects include integrating the Solomon shield on our planet, which is designed to support our males to the new consciousness and upgrade the architecture of the horizontal grid in its rod function. The Shield of Solomon was built from the House of David genetic line and is from the Holy Grail male bloodline that has the power to override the previously distorted collective masculine rod consciousness. The distorted male rod consciousness had been infected with patriarchal domination, stemming from the controller's mind control game of installing false king of tyranny as the dominating rulers of this planet. The controllers handpicked the hybridized Nephilim bloodline that they could corrupt through the mind control programs in order to carry out their enslavement through tyranny agenda. The Guardians explained the Solomon Shield is the consciousness grid technology that is charging the planet or changing the planet electron spin back to organic, the 1212 electrical Christ male pattern. The pattern is only viable in select places on the planet. And it is the rod and staff couples, or the hierogamos, or the divine union couples that are locking it down into the planet by merging their combined embodied unity code source architecture. And I'm grateful for that, I am in a divine union where we are focused and embodying, anchoring the Christo Sophia codes. And it's such a beautiful thing. I'm really grateful for that. So until the planet can hold the new electron spin, these groups are attempting to embody the frequency in its new electron spin pattern and their combined male principal energy. The 1212 only exists within the unity field architecture field and not within the reversal systems, which still are running reversal electron spin rates based on the hijack code by the controllers. This is also the reason why energetic interference have been aggressive for certain rod and staff couples, to prevent them from holding the unified field necessary to bring the embodied unity source code architecture. The 12 base architecture is coming from the projected mind of God's cosmic cube matrix of the 144,000 archetypes that's being induced into the third eye. It takes both the male and female genetic equal bodies to hold it. And so both the male and female must merge their moriotic energies and combine divine purpose in order to do so. With the guardian hosting of the Solomon Shield, our masculine principle and its rod function for this planet are changing to be reconfigured beyond the golden eagle grid infiltration and his distorted consciousness. This allows our male electron to be reconfigured to the new 1212 electrical Christ mate pattern, freeing it from the mind control enslavement technology. The 369 rod repair. Once the Kundalini current runs in corrected patterns to build the subharmonic strings in each of the 369 dimensions, the equal structure of the horizontal triad bodies can begin to build higher mental bodies and merge into the trinitized form. The corrected male body patterns rebuilt in each of these higher mind malrics, also leading the Metatronic body repair, which is the Nephilim 9D body correction, which these three harmonic triads are corrected through the horizontal triad bodies. The light body structure, known as the masculine rod, starts to initiate and activate in the light body. All right, so the last part I'm going to read here on this part, mystery schools. I love mystery schools. The covenant with King Solomon is being sequentially activated to start the change over the current infiltrated structure of the mystery schools by reprogramming the corrupted horizontal energetics architecture into a spherical system. Those that have been abusing technologies through black magic will not have the same impact with SRA rituals for this reason. The Solomon Shield is a spherical metamorphic field designed to buffer and realign horizontal timeline networks on the planetary body. A clock shield device is like a combination lock that opens biological clocks, and even in time, to manifest locally. The Solomon Shield's specific function is to override grid damage and collaticism potentials recorded in the Golden Eagle network and the Seraphim lineages of accumulated genetic miasma and negative form bodies, as well as possibly clones. Dun dun dun. Wow. Sounds like to me I'm going to start working with Solomon's Shield. And here's an image of Solomon's Shield for you as well. You just want to tune into that vibration for a moment. Maybe take a couple breaths while you gaze at it and just open up for it to come into your energy. Beautiful. Beautiful. So the aqua and the pink, that represents the mother arc energy. The golden yellow represents, the golden Christ energy. Then you can also see a little bit of the violet flame. Ooh, such beautiful energy. I love when they show visual images like this on this website. Okay. Whew. We're getting into some good stuff. Let me see here. I think we have a couple of videos. Yeah, we have quite a few videos actually. And we already watched this one. Okay. So, Quetzalcoatl. Wow. Quetzalcoatl's getting brought up right now. This is pretty interesting. The wonderful feathered serpent of Central America. So a way to understand this is, as human beings have suffered polarization and separation from God's source and completion in their wholeness. This is what exactly had happened to the galactic beings as well, which is what Quetzalcoatl is sourcing from as a galactic being. A galactic God being that is a hybrid of Seraphim and reptilian consciousness. In that relationship to the Earth's evolution, that the Seraphim and Quetzalcoatl also suffered along with the beings of consciousness. Like the Archangel Michael Matrix suffered a negative split in polarization and consciousness. That was not what I could explain as their choice, but a byproduct of the distortion on the planetary and universal fields of creation, which we are comprised in this time space. So it's important to understand this polarization, the split, the schism goes way beyond planet Earth. It is something that is way beyond even human beings and is actually impacting many other levels of consciousness, such as has been revealed today. This is how the fragmented fallen angelic mind matrix infected many dimensions of timelines. The bottom line is today is the anniversary of Quetzalcoatl's magnetic imprint or birth, August 14th. Interesting. I didn't know there was like a birthday anniversary for Quetzalcoatl's imprint into this world. How fascinating is that? And it also happens at like the closing and the ending of Lionsgate. I'm going to keep that stored in my mental to remember. Quetzalcoatl on August 14th. Phew, I can only imagine those energies. I've worked with Quetzalcoatl a couple times in meditation, and I'll be honest with you guys. Back in November, I had a group event. I call it the Tribe Vibe. And it was a fellow's birthday. His name's Jimmy. And I did a Quetzalcoatl channeled guided meditation for a group of us. And boy, it was so powerful that a few hours later, I got in my friend's hot tub and ended up passing out, oh my gosh, like I was so activated from the Quetzalcoatl energy and the heat of the hot tub that I got out of the hot tub and started walking, and all of a sudden I saw myself turn into pure white light and I passed out. Next thing I know, I was on the ground looking up, and I had a huge activation and concussion and just like so much stuff from the energy that flowed through me with Quetzalcoatl. And the way that I was communicated spiritually, internally about the experience was deeply in connection with Quetzalcoatl. It was also protection as well from the environment I was in at the time. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. So August 14th, this was an auspicious day that opened a portal of connection that allowed a new level of reveal and healing to the fallen angelic and the seraphim races that have been involved with the earth since the beginning of time, and that which will now be released as the blood covenant sacrifice, that which have been suffered on the earth, have been holding the golden eagle grid and reversal patterns, crucifixion implants, and because of many beings and non-human beings were bound and trapped in that grid, unable to evolve, unable to move forward in their suffering consciousness, was the battery, literally, that was energizing this grid and the negative agenda, reversal pattern, to continue to enslave humanity. So the family of Michael, the darker reversal code of infiltration, is what forces the phenomena of fallen angelic races to live with a distorted dimension and damaged and violent blueprint of self. The phenomena of demonic entities and its growing Luciferian energies of imposter spirit are a result of the distortion being spilled upon the earth plane and human beings. When the seraphim hybridized with the reptilian, incredible genetic damage was suffered. The Gold Order Seraphim are a part of the original 3 primal sound fields and were of the 3 creators of the crystal bodies of angelic humans. Crystal diamond submatrix, therefore all human bodies hold genetic history and relationship to the seraphim and angelic avian races, such as the family of Michael. Those given the energetic signature in the name of Michael have even more energetic consequence to holding the pain. Please clear yourself of this false Michael, false Jesus, twin energy architecture from your name and blueprint as you are guided. Ask your Blu-ray flame coding to embody within and override all cellular memory distortions of the negative form. So then it talks about heart healing with the seraphim. That's something that you guys can connect with as well. I'm not going to read everything because we could be reading for 3 hours. But I do want to click on the Archangel Michael matrix, or the family of Michael, so that we can come to a clarity of that as well. So the Gold Order Seraphim Avian Genetics, the family of Michael, and those that have avian genetics and founder Gold Order Seraphim memories are the family of consciousness which connects into the Golden Eagle grid. This is also related to understanding the purpose of Grail Keepers. These are soul groups that have been involved in the hidden galactic histories and are spiritually committed to protect the Earth, as they are the true guardians of the Earth. The masculine principle and those that hold the rod of the Earth are connected to these Mahi Grail lines because it's protecting the internal access points, the inner worlds. To access into the inner worlds was the original role of the gatekeepers, to protect the access into the Grail points that are in the Earth. The damage of the Golden Eagle grid is related to the Seraphim group, consciousness bodies that became inverted or reversed upon themselves as a result of these alien machineries that use AI to gain access to the 369 Solomon arc portal passages and spawn fallen angelic seraphim. Freeing the family of Michael, we must, with all of our heart and might, hold the white purity flame of God's internal love for our masculine, and that which frees the enslavement history of our family of Michael. Major place of the pain force to be held by the group consciousness known as the family of Michael. The family of Michael, also known as the Archangel Michael matrix, has been seriously damaged and forced into portions of its own consciousness to be twisted into a grotesque montage of fed karmic backlash from humanity and reversal hybridization programming. The Nephilim reversal grid system, headquartered in the UK Stonehenge, feeds off Archangel Michael matrix. The negative energy sewage system is based on the enslavement program influence that AA placed in the dimensional space, and how humanity through the New Age and organized religion have been fed lies to call upon Archangel Michael to further create his bondage to enslave itself, therefore forcing it to enslave others to his plane. The family of Michael are Blu-ray descendants of the First Order ray of the Melchizedeks that are guardians of the East through the 4 royal stars in Taurus constellation from the star Aldebaran. They were a part of the guardian consciousness holders of the 36912 arc portal system, which have been at war between the many races that want control of the access gate out of the universal time matrix. The Luciferian rebellion was a galactic war that involved Aldebaran and the Law of One holographic records and technologies stolen by the Jehovian Anunnaki Luciferians, which resulted in the invasion of the Golden Eagle grid on Earth. Oof. So then it talks about the fallen angelic lines, the healing of the males, war over timelines, as well as the Michael Mary matrix. And I'll read that. The NDC grid is part of the large Canadian so-called Michael Mary turnstile matrix, in which several smaller wheels operate in North America. This control system now includes the White Eagle APIN and is used to broadcast subliminal mind program scalar programs. The NDC photosonic pulses block and reverse the polarity in some of the Earth's vertical and ley line grids, creating a checkerboard of alternative active and dormant frequencies and named the checkerboard matrix. This was, whoa, okay. This has created a huge so-called checkerboard mutation in all life on Earth, what science calls junk DNA. Whoa, the checkerboard matrix? Yo. Okay. We're going beyond conspiracy now. The checkerboard matrix. You pay attention to quite a bit of movies, shows, cartoons, music videos, especially the mainstream ones, like the really mainstream ones. There's been the symbolism of the checkerboard floor within these elite groups, quote unquote elite groups. And that checkerboard floor is one of their symbols. And I'm going to show you guys real quick. I like to show the proof in the pudding. Of course, they don't have Here we go. So you got the checkerboard floors and the Masonic connection behind them. So what does this tell you? Symbolism is everything. Symbolism can't be hidden. Symbolism also cannot be what it is not. As in, if there is a energy imprint behind the symbol, then it is that energy imprint, and it's representing what it represents. Now, you may not be aware of what it's representing, but there is the opportunity to become aware. And we are in that opportunity to become aware. So they have the checkerboard flooring, and we just read about the checkerboard matrix that they are utilizing on our DNA. And real quick, it says it generates from multiple alien machinery systems to reverse the energy current through the planetary grid networks to split them into bi-wave frequencies. This allows extreme polarity and amplification in the collective consciousness. Wowzers. Okay. I think we're going to call it a close on our education and study for today. And then we can go ahead and watch our videos that we have. And you guys enjoy these videos for sure. Oh. I'm not sure what's going on right now in my thing. There we go. Okay. So yeah, let's watch some videos and then we'll close out.
Even while we have the ability to speak to God directly through prayer, the Bible claims that God speaks with us through a variety of angels, each of whom has a specific role. Within 3 main categories, there are 9 different kinds of angels, or choirs. Angels are people just like us, no matter where they are in the hierarchy. They are far more patient and forgiving than we are because they are able to see far beyond the mortal timeline. They are appointed to help us and are aware of our own life goals, yet they never impose their will on us. Here are 9 different categories of angels. Before we go into this video, make subscribe to Gideon Films and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our uploads, and like this video for the sake of YouTube algorithm. 9 types of angels. One, Seraphim. Seraphim is Hebrew for the fiery ones. This word is the plural form of seraph. The Bible describes these angels as having faces, hands, and feet. Each seraph possesses 6 wings, 4 of which are used as a gesture of humility while they are in the presence of God, and the other 2 are used for flight. They shout, "Holy, holy, holy," and seem to be always giving God homage. They are frequently portrayed in religious artwork. These are the closest angels to God. They encircle his throne and radiate a flaming, passionate light that represents his love. Seraphim are known as fiery serpents, and no other celestial creatures are allowed to stare at them. They only have 4 faces, and there are only 4 of them. When they arrive on Earth, they abandon their snake form in favor of tall, slim, clean-cut human forms. 2. Cherubim, plural of cherub. These angels manage celestial records and have access to God's wisdom. They are dispatched to Earth with major missions, such as removing humanity from the Garden of Eden. Cherubim are depicted in ancient art as sphinx-like winged creatures with human faces, rather than the plump infants with wings that currently adorn greeting cards and book covers. Cherubim are Ophaniel, Rikpiel, and Sophiel, as was Satan before his descent into wickedness. 3. Thrones. Thrones' look is possibly the oddest of the initial batch. They are reported to resemble large, bright wheels with many eyes. They act as God's chariot, dispensing his judgment to carry out his plans for us. 4. Dominions or dominations. The second category of angels can reside in a condition of transition between the heavenly and human realms. They are seen as celestial regulators who strive to establish a balance between matter and spirit, good and evil. Consider dominions to be intermediate management. They take commands from seraphim and cherubim, then assign tasks to the lower order worker bee angels. Their major role is to keep the universe in order by transferring power to leaders of government and other authoritative people. The chief of this order is Zadkiel, also known as Hashmal. 5. Virtues. Virtues, which are shaped like sparks of light, are in charge of sustaining the natural world and inspiring living creatures in fields such as science. They also accept commands from the angels above them and turn them into miracles for those who deserve them. When they manifest in our world, they are singers, artists, healers, and scientists who operate with the force of love as well as physics. The 2 angels that appeared during Jesus' ascension are said to embody virtues. 6. Powers. Powers manifest as vividly colored hazy vapors in their heavenly forms. Powers serve as border guards between heaven and earth. They are the birth and death angels. Some think they also rule over demons that aim to destroy the world, while others, including St. Paul, believe the powers themselves are bad. In any event, powers are a collective of professionals who act as religious, theological, and ideological consultants. 7. Principalities. Ordinary humans will have the most interaction with the third category of angels. The principalities are at the top of this list. These celestial beings resemble light beams. The principalities, like a school principal, monitor everything. They govern our whole globe, including nations, cities, and villages. They are also in control of religion and politics. As if their plate wasn't already overflowing, they are also in charge of overseeing the terrestrial responsibilities of the angels beneath them. 8. Archangels. These, together with the angels, protect humanity in all physical things. But don't ask them to assist you personally. Archangels respond best when dealing with issues that affect all humanity, such as justice. This order is well known because several of the angels are referenced by name in the Bible, including Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Archangels combat demons, for example Michael, or carry messages from God, such as when Gabriel appeared to Mary to inform her that she would be the mother of Jesus. There are only 7 archangels, according to popular belief. 9. Angels. These may simply be referred to as regular angels. They are the most prevalent form of angel and are protectors of humanity and all things tangible. These angels are sent to humans as messengers. This category includes personal guardian angels. Angels can guard and warn mankind, as well as fight on God's behalf. If you like this video, leave a like, share to your friends, do not forget subscribe Gideon Films, and to support our content, join our membership perk.
That was pretty fascinating, I gotta say, to learn about the different types of angels and the different orders that they have. Pretty fascinating. You know, you only hear about usually like the archangels, and you hear the word angels, but you don't really hear in depth about like the seraphim and the chariots and like all that stuff. Really fascinating to learn about their roles and what it is that they do. So this last video is going to be a little bit longer, and this will definitely be our closeout, but it's going to talk about, I know they said there's 7, but there's also 12. And this is going to be about 12 of the archangels specifically, and how you can connect with each of the 12 and the kind of powers or the kind of energy that they're able to help bring into your life. So enjoy, and I will be closing out directly after this.
In the realm of the celestial, a group of extraordinary beings exists known as the 12 Archangels. These magnificent entities hold significant roles in the divine plan, serving as messengers and intermediaries between God and humanity. Each archangel possesses unique powers and attributes that guide and assist us on our spiritual journey. In this video, we will learn about the 12 archangels, exploring their identities, their powers, and the lessons we can learn from their presence. Become a part of our celestial inner circle by clicking the join button below this video, or just click the link in the comment section. Invitation to join. Number 1. Archangel Michael, the mighty protector. One of the most prominent archangels is Michael, known as the mighty protector. Michael's name means who is like God, and embodies his unwavering dedication to righteousness and justice. With his powerful sword and shield, Michael defends against dark forces and protects us in times of spiritual warfare. He instills courage, strength, and determination within us, reminding us that God's power is unparalleled and that we can overcome any obstacle with his divine guidance. Type Archangel Michael to claim his guidance and protection. Number 2. Archangel Gabriel, the Divine Messenger. Gabriel, whose name means God is my strength, is celebrated as the Divine Messenger of God. This archangel is renowned for delivering important messages throughout history. From announcing the birth of Jesus to the Virgin Mary, to revealing prophetic visions to the prophet Daniel, Gabriel plays a pivotal role in divine communication. With his golden trumpet, Gabriel heralds significant events and provides us with the strength and inspiration to embrace God's messages in our lives. Type Archangel Gabriel to listen and understand his message for you. Number 3. Archangel Raphael, the Divine Healer. Raphael, whose name signifies God heals, holds the power of divine healing and restoration. This compassionate archangel guides us in physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Raphael's presence brings comfort and reassurance, reminding us that God's healing touch is ever present. Whether we are in need of physical healing, emotional solace, or spiritual rejuvenation, Raphael's gentle guidance and loving energy lead us on the path towards wholeness and well-being. Type Archangel Raphael to claim his gift of healing and restoration. Please check the link in the description box so you can learn the name of your guardian angel and claim their protection and love. Number 4. Archangel Uriel, the Illuminator of Wisdom. Uriel, whose name means God is my light, is the Archangel of Wisdom and Enlightenment. He illuminates our minds with divine insights, guiding us towards deeper understanding and spiritual growth. Uriel's wisdom assists us in discerning the truth and making wise choices aligned with God's will. With his flaming sword, Uriel cuts through ignorance and confusion, allowing the light of divine knowledge to shine upon our path. Type Archangel Uriel, ask for his enlightenment to help you make wise decisions. Number 5. Archangel Metatron, the Divine Record Keeper. Metatron, whose name signifies one who guards or one who serves behind the throne, is the celestial scribe and record keeper. He oversees the flow of divine information and records our actions and deeds. Metatron guides us towards accountability and spiritual growth, reminding us of the importance of conscious choices and the impact of our actions. His presence encourages us to live in alignment with God's will, knowing that our choices are being witnessed and recorded in the heavenly realm. Type Archangel Metatron to claim his guidance and help you be in alignment with God's will. Number 6. Archangel Chamuel, the Angel of Unconditional Love. Chamuel, whose name means he who seeks God, embodies the essence of unconditional love and compassion. This archangel's gentle and nurturing energy helps us cultivate love, forgiveness, and compassion in our lives. Chamuel guides us in building harmonious relationships, healing emotional wounds, and extending love to ourselves and others. With Chamuel's presence, we learn to see the divine spark within every being and embrace the transformative power of love. Type Archangel Chamuel to allow the transformative power of love to reign in your life. Become a part of our celestial inner circle by clicking the join button below this video, or just click the link in the comment section. Invitation to join. Number 7. Archangel Jophiel, the Angel of Beauty and Illumination. Jophiel, whose name signifies beauty of God, is the Archangel of Beauty, Illumination, and Creativity. This angel inspires us to find beauty and appreciation in all aspects of life. Jophiel's presence allows us to see the world through a lens of wonder and gratitude, recognizing the divine presence in every moment. Whether it is the splendor of art or the inner beauty of our souls, Jophiel encourages us to embrace and celebrate the beauty that surrounds us. Type Archangel Jophiel to receive her blessings of beauty and creativity in your life. Number 8. Archangel Zadkiel, the Angel of Mercy. Zadkiel, whose name means righteousness of God, is the Archangel of mercy and forgiveness. Zadkiel's compassionate energy helps us release feelings of guilt, resentment, and judgment, allowing us to embrace the transformative power of forgiveness. With Zadkiel's guidance, we learn to extend mercy to ourselves and others, fostering healing and reconciliation in our relationships. Type Archangel Zadkiel to allow him to clear feelings of guilt, resentment, and judgment and help to forgive. Number 9. Archangel Haniel, the Angel of Joy and Harmony. Haniel, whose name signifies glory of God, is the Archangel of Joy and Harmony. Haniel's presence radiates joy and uplifts our spirits, reminding us to find happiness in every moment. This archangel assists us in cultivating harmony within ourselves and in our relationships, promoting a sense of peace, balance, and unity. Type Archangel Haniel to receive her blessings of joy, peace, balance, and harmony. Remember to find out the name of your guardian angel when you click on the link in the description box so you will know his name and receive his guidance. Number 10. Archangel Rigel, the Angel of Justice. Rigel, whose name signifies friend of God, is the Archangel of Justice and Fairness. Rigel ensures that justice is upheld, advocating for equality and resolution in all aspects of life. This archangel guides us in resolving conflicts, promoting harmony, and creating a just and balanced society. Type Archangel Rigel to receive his blessings of justice, peace, and harmony in your life. Number 11. Archangel Ariel, the Lioness of God. Ariel, whose name means Lioness of God, is the archangel who protects and nurtures the natural world. Ariel's energy is deeply connected to the earth and all its creatures. This archangel guides us in caring for the environment, promoting conservation, and fostering a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of all living beings. Type Archangel Ariel to receive her blessings of abundance. Number 12. Archangel Azrael, the Angel of Transition. Azrael, whose name signifies whom God helps, is the Archangel of Transition and Comfort. Azrael assists souls in their journey from earthly life to the afterlife, providing comfort and solace to those experiencing grief and loss. This archangel's presence brings peace and reassurance, reminding us that even in times of transition, we are held in God's loving embrace. Type Archangel Azrael to receive his blessings of solace and comfort. Become a part of our celestial inner circle by clicking the join button below this video or just click the link in the comment section invitation to join. In the celestial realm, the 12 archangels stand as magnificent beings, each with their unique powers and attributes. They serve as messengers, protectors, healers, and guides, assisting us on our spiritual journey and deepening our connection with the divine. As we open our hearts to their presence and invoke their guidance, we gain access to their wisdom, love, and protection. Let us embrace the teachings and lessons offered by the 12 archangels. Through Michael, we find strength and protection. Through Gabriel, we receive divine messages. Through Raphael, we experience healing and restoration. Through Uriel, we gain wisdom and enlightenment. With each archangel, we are guided towards a deeper understanding of God's love and purpose for our lives. May the 12 archangels inspire and empower us to live in alignment with God's will. May their divine powers guide us towards spiritual growth, healing, love, and wisdom. As we journey through life, let us embrace the presence of the archangels and seek their assistance in times of need. Remember that they are not to be worshipped, but rather revered as divine messengers and instruments of God's grace. In our pursuit of spiritual growth and connection with the divine, let us remain open to the wisdom and guidance that the archangels offer. They serve as reminders of the vastness of God's creation and His infinite love for humanity. Through their presence, we are reminded that we are never alone on our journey. As we conclude this exploration of the 12 archangels and their powers, may we carry their teachings in our hearts and strive to embody their qualities in our own lives. Let us embrace the strength, protection, healing, wisdom, love, and mercy that they bring.
Wow. What a episode today. Almost 2 hours on this one, but for a really great reason. Definitely sure that we opened up a lot of perspective about not only the archangels, but also all of the different classes of angels and councils that we have throughout the whole universal time matrix. And the archangels are just one class or one legion of angels that we are able to connect with and also interact with in this multidimensional universe. We learned about Seraphim. We learned about the chariots. We learned about the archangels, as well as some of the others. You guys can always watch this replay on the Sacred Light Broadcast Network. But we're going to close, and we're going to close with a little bit of drumming.
Take a few deep breaths as we close. Breathing in the angels and breathing in their frequencies. Maybe your favorite angels that we learned about. Thank you for joining me on this episode today of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Thank you to our angels of the multidimensional universe, of all classes and all origins. Thank you for being here, the human angelic bloodlines that are anchoring the crystal Sophia codes on this planet. And thank you for all the negative resistance along the way that is helping us develop and be able to experience polarity. Everybody have a blessed and beautiful day as we close this Grand Rising of ChristoLight. And I'll be back Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern, as we begin to explore more and more of our universal time matrix. See you guys then.
2023. Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending. Thank you from the Sacred Light Broadcast Network and Sacred Light Productions for tapping in and tuning in to all live and replay content, holistic, conscious, for your empowerment. Tap in to the Christ light within. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you are the one that you have been looking for. Enjoy this content. If you would like to collaborate or receive production through myself, Marcus ChristoLight, direct message or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com to discuss details. Wholeness and balanced love. Ashe.